Hi, and welcome to Source Seers. I'm Love.
And I'm Tylynn. We're two Los Angeles-based witches who were brought together by fate with one mission.
To translate wisdom from Source and provide spiritual knowledge for the collective.
We're here to explore psychic stories, pop culture predictions, trauma healing, ancient knowledge, astrology, tarot, and so much more.
Source Seers is here to shine the spotlight on how the mystical realms are interwoven into the very fabric of our everyday lives.
Yeah!
Hi, welcome back to Source Seers. We're in episode 2, and it's 2025.
Happy 2025. We're getting into it today. What is in store for 2025?
Yesterday was 2020, and today is 2025. I don't know if ever... I feel like a lot of people feel like that because COVID. It's like,
time.
Here we are. Yeah.
What is time?
An ever-flowing river. That is for the Jurassic Park friends out there.
That was the first movie I actually ever saw.
Dang.
Yeah, my parents took me as a baby to go see.
You want to see scary dinosaurs? I think you would like. I think my child would like that.
Yeah. So Jurassic Park has a special place in my heart.
That's actually really sick. You're like, yeah, I have prehistoric taste. So
one of my mini nicknames is T-Rex. So
I need to know this. Do you hold your arms like this? Is that why?
Well, yeah, I mean, in the Scene Kid days, that's...
that's true. But I know it's like an autism thing, too. Yeah. So T-Rex arms is like an autism thing.
So. It was not the rare, it was RAR.
RAR.
That was the...
RAR XD.
RAR.
Oh my god. Okay, so...
We're a little out of it today.
Yeah, please bear with us. The new year has shooketh us.
Right?
Okay, so we're going to go over like 2025. What are the themes? We're going to talk about different ways to work with this, to look at the energy if you're into like tarot or astrology or different things, see what the energy is for you personally. We'll teach you some ways to look at that. And then we're also going to go over like collectively, like what is going on. Cause there's been a lot, like I've seen like a lot of different people online talking about like the theme for the year, the energy for the year, like all these different things. So, okay. So first we're going to go over like astrologically, what is in store for 2025, which Tylynn has graciously written down. The main transits, right? Like this is not like a just an astrology podcast. So it's like we're gonna go over what are the main things that you should look out for. So what are your...
Well, one of the biggest things on January 11th, we have a nodal shift happening where the North Node is moving into Pisces, which means that the South Node is moving into Virgo. So if you're looking at your own natal chart, your nodal axis represents the evolution of your unique soul. So where your North Node is, this is where your soul is growing. And where your South Node is, this is the energy that you're very comfortable in. It typically represents past lives, things that you've mastered.
Yeah. They say it was like your sun sign in a past life.
Yes. Yeah. But as a collective shift, it typically means that the North Node is what we are moving towards collectively. Yeah. And the South Node is what we are seeking to release, what we are letting go of. Yeah. So the way that I think about this axis in general, Pisces is a mutable water sign. So I think about it like the entire ocean, oceanic consciousness. It's super mystical, which that is a part of this transit for the collective, is to have a deeper understanding of what spirituality means for them personally, for all of us to experience that connection to oneness. And so that mystical water, Pisces energy, and then Virgo is a single drop of that ocean water in a microscope, analyzing every single detail. So a lot of what we're releasing is over analyzing, overly perfectionism tendencies. It's really important to look at where is Virgo in your own natal chart, because that's going to indicate the area of life where you are releasing outdated patterns, belief systems. For instance, I'm a Pisces rising, so I'm really looking forward to this nodal shift, because it means that the North Node is in my first house. Like, this is my
your
time
yeah.
to shine. But then I'm letting go and releasing things in relationship dynamics that are no longer serving me. So we'll see what comes of that, because my yearly lesson card is the Lover's card. So lots of like love and relationship stuff coming up for me.
And we're going to show you how to find your yearly lesson card too.
Yes, we're going to dive into that, but that is a really big transit that I wanted to know. Do you want to share anything on that nodal shift?
So few things that I want to share. Number one, if you're like, what the heck is all of that? Like an example, so where the nodes, north and south nodes are right now is the Aries Libra, and they recently switched. So if you're like in the LA area or interested in the news at all, like when they switched was when like the writer's strike happened last year. So you can kind of see, like, even if you personally don't have, you know, the Pisces Virgo as your north and south node in your own natal chart, like where they were when you were born, it still is more of a collective type of placement, like Tylynn was saying. So you kind of saw, like with the Libra Aries, there was a lot of themes of Libra and Aries of justice and equality and taking actions on things. And so we saw that a lot from society. There was not just the writer's strike, but many different like unions and strikes and things like that, which is kind of where we're at with the equality and the fairness, because literally no one in our government practices that, I feel. So now that we're moving into like the Virgo Pisces, like you said, it's like organizing, clearing out, cleaning, and like connecting with the collective, dreaming, being in this like fantasy, like feeling space. So yeah, looking where Pisces and Virgo are for you in your chart, what house they're in, will help you understand like how this energy is going to be filtered through your life. And then if you do have Virgo and Pisces as your north and or south nodes, even if it's reversed, this will be like a nodal return for you. So what they call a nodal return just means when you were born, the north and south nodes were in those two signs of Virgo and Pisces, and now they're back in those two signs. So you're in the space of the nodal return where it's like coming back into you. So that's going to be like even more important for you if you do have your north and south node in Virgo or Pisces, because it's like not just collectively, but also on a personal level. It's activating where your soul is being called to go, your like Tylynn said. Yeah. So that's a big transit. Okay, what's next?
I'm really looking forward to seeing the art that comes from this nodal shift, because,
and the Aquarius, there's gonna be a lot of art because the Pluto Aquarius.
I'm really excited to see how we all can understand that we are a part of oneness. We are all a part of source consciousness, and how can we collectively come together and see that. I feel like this is going to be a time where we release the separation tactics and the principles and the division tactics that have been so heavily present on the planet right now. And so I'm looking forward to seeing what occurs from that. Another thing I want to note, just because I love working with the asteroid goddesses, Vesta, who is the high priestess, she will be in her home sign for a lot of this year. Vesta will be in Scorpio. So it's really important to take a look at how we are devoting ourselves to understanding the deeper aspects of our shadow, our psyche. I feel like with the North Node moving into Pisces, collectively, we are going to see people starting to have a deep devotion to their spiritual practices, whatever spirituality means for you. And Vesta and Scorpio saying, okay, how are you devoted to that? So that's going to be from January 2nd all the way until September 12th of this year.
Oh, wow, yeah, most of the year.
So most of the year she's going to be in her home sign. We're also entering into 2025 in a Mars retrograde. And on January 6th, Mars will go retrograde back into Cancer, which is where Mars is in his fall. And it's my natal placement. I have natal Mars in Cancer. Well, actually, I personally, as an astrologer, I really love planets that are in fall and detriment, because if you think about, if you move through like a challenge or difficulty, you gain an extra grit about you. You have an extra resilience. You have this endurance about you. And that's something that I really deeply appreciate. And something with Mars and Cancer is you're taking the motivation, the drive, the physicality, the action, and you're pouring it into Cancerian themes, which are nurturance. And that's literally what I do for a living. I use my physical energy, I use my drive, and I nurture humanity. So we'll see what comes from that, though, because it can be like a knife's edge, where the Cancer energy with Mars can be very like passive aggressive. Yes. But it's also, again, how are you using your physical energy to nurture not only yourself but others. So it's time for self-care. We're also going to be entering into a Venus retrograde period towards the beginning of the year. I don't know if we want to super dive into that, but that's going to be a thing, because
the one thing I do want to say about that is I've read from other astrologers that looking at a because of Mercury retrograde is like the main one that like everyone like is popularized now. Like people are kind of like conditioned to think like, oh no, anything retrograde is bad, like, oh, everything's gonna go wrong. But there was some astrologers that I read from this year that were saying, this past year in 2024, that were saying a retrograde is sort of like, what do we see in the planet's like absence? Like, what are we missing? What do we need to fine tune? What do we need to change? So it's not always like, oh no, everything's gonna suck and I just have to sit here and deal with it. But it's like, it's taking a time to like look back, to walk back and say like, okay, what is the lesson? What is the struggle? What is the thing that I've been holding on to? What, when this planet is gone from my life, is it showing me? Is it teaching me? You know how people say like absence makes the heart grow fonder. So it's like, if I didn't have this in my life the way that it's supposed to, what am I missing? What do I wish would change? Like all those types of pieces, especially with Venus, because Venus is like what you love, what you're attracted to, your aesthetic like choices, like how you can like, how you value things, like how you take care of yourself, what you think is important and stuff like that. So there'll be a lot of shift for you in this, like, what is the sign that it's going to be retrograding in?
So that's the thing. She's going to be retrograding through her sign of exaltation, Pisces, and her sign of detriment, Aries.
So we'll get a bit of both. Yeah. So it'll give you some time to say, like, where am I missing out on, like, I feel like Pisces is like holistic, you know, it's like all the pieces, or the softness or the slowness. If it, like, Venus Pisces is like writing and like arts, and like that's what it reminds me of. And then Aries is like direct. Aries wants to take action, can be kind of like cranky or crabby, I feel like, in Venus.
I have a Venus in Aries.
Yeah, so. I know another astrologer that has that too.
Yeah, we love a conquest.
Yes.
Tease me, please.
Yeah. So it's like looking at where the Pisces and the Aries are in your chart, and looking at what that Venus retrograde is going to teach you about that area of your life. Yeah,
I love that with retrograde periods, because essentially from our perspective here on the Earth, it appears as if that planetary energy is moving backwards.
But it's not.
But in all reality, it's not. And so the astrologers have just associated these periods throughout time to be times of introspection for whatever planet is moving retrograde. Like, for instance, something that I love about people that are born with Mercury retrograde natally, like Mercury retrograde natives, like they are able to absorb information, whereas a Mercury direct person will take the information, it's like how our Western society is like very based on tests. They'll be like, okay, take the information, I got it, let me get it out, But a Mercury retrograde person, they might take time actually understanding the concept. It might not be as fast as a Mercury direct person, but then they'll remember it longer than a Mercury direct person. I don't know if you found that in your practice, but I love that about natal Mercury retrograde people.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm also like very adaptable. I also have Gemini Mercury, so it's already adaptable.
Mercury domicile.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, Mercury and fall over here. Mercury Pisces.
Yeah, I was at least blessed with that piece where it's like, well, technology will not work for you, but you'll be very adaptable and you'll be able to fix everything that doesn't work. I feel like I'm like very tech savvy because of that. I don't know.
Yes. I love that. We both have mutable Mercuries. I feel like that's why this podcast or seers, we're going to go all over the place.
Yeah, get people prepared for tangents. The Gemini Mercury is like, can I give you more? More? Do you want more?
Yeah.
How about more?
And Mercury Pisces is like, okay, let me just channel all of this.
I'm feeling everything. How do I explain this? And I'm like, I can find 70 ways to explain this for you.
Yeah, let's dive in. Let's go. Something else that I love, on February 16th until January 23rd of 2026, Athena, the goddess of wisdom, is going to be also in her home sign of Aquarius. And Venus in Aquarius is, not Venus, Athena in Aquarius is the energy of perception shifts, that she's the visionary. And so I'm excited to see.
It's like a solution in battle that you didn't expect.
Yes.
It's like, oh, we're stuck. We have no way out.
Master strategist.
Yeah. And then she's like, actually, we can do this.
Yes.
And you're like, damn, that was astute.
Which is where I have my natal Athena. I have Athena at 29 degrees of Aquarius. So I'm excited to see how her transit supports Pluto moving into Aquarius, having her as this multifaceted goddess, supporting systems, right? Because she's a warrior-esque goddess. And right now on the planet, we do not have systems that are for the people, that support the people. And so I'm really excited to see what she does with this long freaking transit from February 16th all the way until January 23rd of next year with her in her home sign.
I feel like her and Pluto are going to be like strategizing on the battlefield.
Yes, for sure. Like this is a time of revolution, and we see that as throughout history. Pluto moving into Aquarius. These are times.
Has Athena ever worked with Hades in any of the lore? In any of the?
So I believe that there was something with Hades losing his helm or someone stealing the helm. Maybe this is like just me like having dreams about this because I have Athena on my ascendant, but I do have a feeling of like retrieving the helm for Hades, his helm. I don't know.
That would be sick. That sounds metal.
So yeah. Because I mean, Athena does work with the owl medicine, and the owl sees into the darkness, the depths of the darkness, which is also very Hades-esque.
Yeah. Owls are associated with death and like Native American lineage.
And Athena and Persephone are like besties, so there's that too. And Persephone is the queen of the underworld, the queen of Hades. So yeah, I wanted to mention that because I feel like that's really, really important. And then, we have a very important shift happening. Neptune dipping into Aries on March 30th. And then Neptune will retrograde back into Pisces on July 4th. But we have some of that transit that is going to be peeking through for the collective to just, Neptune's just dipping their toes into Aries for a little bit, and then we'll go back into Pisces. But this is a really big transit because essentially this will be until 2039 of Neptune and Aries, which in meditation on this, Neptune was showing me that there is going to be the frequency of the warrior that is going to be implemented throughout the entire collective, because the way that I work with Neptune is I see Neptune as this mystical hazy fog. We can all see it, but we can't quite reach out and grasp it. And that's the higher spiritual principles. Sometimes it is difficult to grasp that on a human level, but it's permeates the fields, and Neptune sort of has glamour magic and illusion pieces to it. So Neptune was showing me this warrior energy and how it's permeating the fields, and that more people are being asked to step into their warrior frequency. And we're also seeing how leadership is meant to be inspiring. Aries is the first sign of the zodiac. It is the leader. And with Neptune moving into Aries, we're going to be seeing illusions around current world leaders just crashing, burning to the ground.
Continue on the path. I'm excited.
Like, yeah.
Do you feel like it's more like, I'm a warrior who, I feel like because Neptune, it's like high intuition, but like you said, there's like a mist, so you're like not sure.
Yeah.
But I feel like with the energy of Aries, it can be like, okay, I'm just going to take forward action because I trust it. Or do you feel like it's going to be more like, okay, as I'm in my warrior, whatever area of my life that comes out in, I'm going to need to like meditate more, go inward more, because it's not as clear.
Well, Aries is a sign that trusts their instinct. So I feel like collectively, we're all going to be trusting our instinct so much more. And I also feel like this transit is going to impact people on an individual, personal level, in the sense of how is our identity impacting the entire collective. So what is the roles that we are playing as our identity, and strengthening those roles? Like, this is my identity and I'm strong about this. And I also feel like Neptune and Aries is going to support the collective in having individual experiences with oneness, because Neptune in Pisces is like, yeah, like, come to the church or come to this event and we'll facilitate this experience or this connection to the grander mystical realms above for you. Whereas Neptune in Aries is like, this is on you to have this experience for yourself, to connect to oneness. And I feel like people are going to have that energy within of like, this, I am guiding myself in this, but also the understanding that we are all interwoven, we're all a part of oneness. And
also, like, wherever you have Aries in your chart for till 2039 will have that energy in your life. So like, I'm an Aries moon, so my moon is going to be even more trusting your instincts.
You're making money with your creativity. That's what's happening.
Yeah, because they say like Neptune is like also psychic, or making money, or being successful on TV and stuff like that. So people might have shifts in there too. I also have like Neptune in my second house, so I'm supposed to.
I have Neptune. Well, with this transit, we'll be moving through my second house, which is why I signed a lease. I'm going all in with my business, and it's like, yep, we're making money doing my spiritual work. Like,
and it's in my fifth house, my Aries moon, so it's like creativity. So I'm going to be creating more till 2039, which sounds amazing. I love creating.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm like, yes, bring in all of the money. Okay, so some other things that we've got going on. We have a really important transit happening. I'm so looking forward to this. Yes, this is going to be so great, because we have Jupiter moving from their sign of detriment, Gemini, into their sign of exaltation, Cancer, which is Jupiter's favorite place to be. And the way that I think about Jupiter and Cancer, because Jupiter is the planet of blessings, abundance, higher levels of consciousness, and Cancer is a sign ruled by the moon, the mother, nurturing energy. I like to think about that as like a cozy, warm house party where it's not like a rager, but it's a very chill house party. There's lots of good food, cozy vibes, and everyone's just chatting about the meaning of life, like deep philosophical conversations, and everyone's enjoying themselves and everyone feels safe. It feels like Jupiter is going to be expanding the energy of safety, which we are all going to be needing with the warrior frequency that's happening. Like what does it mean to be safe and embodied in that warrior energy Jupiter is going to be bringing? Yes.
Or like what are you fighting for, right? Like what safety are you like trying to move through, fight for, to get, you know? It's sort of like, I feel like it's sort of like Vikings, where it's like, okay, we're gonna go and pillage this place so we can get these riches or these resources or these people that, you know, back then it's like they're gonna like enslave them or whatever. But like I feel like it's kind of like that vibe where it's like I'm fighting, but like for some expansion. Like what is the expansion that I'm like motivated by?
And
I guess
who is with you, because Cancer is a sign that is really defensive, like loves its people. So
and they also say if you have Aries and Cancer in your big three that you're chaotic, which hi, I have a Cancer sun, Aries moon.
Yeah, Aries sun, Mars and Cancer.
So I feel like that placement also can maybe feel a little chaotic.
Yeah.
Like with them paired together, it'll be a little chaotic.
I mean, Jupiter is, yes, the energy of blessings, but Jupiter is also a massive and overwhelming frequency. So like this could also be like family stuff that's coming up. Like people are being asked to heal generational trauma and like
or having
stuff with their family line.
Or something.
Oh yeah, I already said, I'm like, this is a 5th house transit for me.
Fifth house is the house of children, in case you're wondering. So if you have transits, you might be fertile, more fertile. Yeah,
I know that, so I'm like, no, I'm not ready yet. But obviously, the universe has its own divine plan. So
I love how Tylynn's like struggling. Like, no, it's okay, universe. Like, if you want me to give you the kid, like, it's okay. But if you don't, like, I don't really want it right now.
Yeah,
but, like,
yeah.
Whatever
I'm
you
chill
want
right
me,
now.
I'm ready for.
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be from June 9th until June 30th of 2026.
Okay, long transit, yeah. I know people were saying, like, different signs, too, will benefit from the Jupiter transits.
Everyone will, because Jupiter is exalted, like, in his favorite
That's true. Sign. So collectively, hopefully, we'll all feel better.
It's a good transit to be happening amongst the madness of all of these other major shifts.
So also look where you have Gemini and where you have Cancer in your chart, because in the first half of the year, Jupiter is going to be in Gemini. So it's like, where is it illuminating that? And then it's going to swap into Cancer. So
I also missed something, so we're gonna back up. This is what I mean, mutable Mercuries. Okay, May 24th until August 31st, Saturn will dip into Aries, which we've had Saturn in Pisces. So this will be a Saturn return for those of you with Saturn in Aries. But those of you with Saturn in Pisces, no, you're not done yet. You're not done yet.
That's me. I have Saturn in Pisces. I'm going through my Saturn return right now.
Yeah. On July 13th, Saturn will retrograde and then won't be direct until November 27th. Saturn will be direct at 25 degrees of Pisces. So especially if you have Saturn and the later degrees of Pisces, you are not done yet with your Saturn return. So you can hold your horses. Saturn has more lessons for you. As an astrologer, I really believe that your Saturn return is... Yes, it hits when Saturn is transiting through the degree of your own natal Saturn, but I believe that you also feel it throughout the entire time that Saturn is in the sign of your natal Saturn. So how do you feel about that? Do you feel like you're going through the Saturn return the whole time? Saturn transits through that sign.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so, because it's like it's in that sign, in that house, you know, like it's either way, it's like moving through that house because it's in the sign. So I think it maybe like if you were to really get down to the nitpicky piece, it's like maybe you feel it differently. Maybe in the beginning it's like more when it's closer to your actual like degree, it's like and then once it moves past, maybe it's still there, but it's not like so like tension. I don't know, but I think it does. I think it affects because I do agree, like when people say like your Saturn return is not just when you're 29, it's like a little bit when you're 28, a little bit when you're 30 because of that exact reason. So it's like I feel like it's sort of like the window is closing. So it's like a smaller probability of lessons, but the lessons might still get like thrown in there. Yeah, there might be like, and that one. And you're like, no. But I feel like the bulk of it
is when it's done right on that degree.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I feel like it's more like like there's like a range or something. Yes. Like the bulk of it will be like around. I don't know how close you would call it. I know like most of the time in astrology, like conjunctions is like 3 degrees before, 3 after.
Oh, there's lots of debate around that. I would say a 10-degree orb is...
Exactly. So within that's when it's going to be like the most of your lessons, but you could still get some like tertiary, like outward lessons for sure. If it's like far away, but still in the same sign.
Yeah. So this is going to be a big deal for those of you with Saturn and Aries getting that first little...
Yeah, it's like a preview too for you in that way. And then it like it backs off of you and you're like, oh, what was that?
Yeah.
Intense pressure that I just felt. Oh my God.
I feel like those souls who have Saturn and Aries, you have really incarnated to take responsibility over being leaders of this, the way forward for Earth. Like, step up because the Earth needs you, Saturn and Aries people, of like really claiming your own unique sovereignty, your own unique individuality, and saying, yes, I'm going to step up as a leader in whatever your own unique fields is, because that's really what your Saturn return is all about with Saturn and Aries, is saying, yep, I signed up for this. This is who I am, and I'm going to express myself to the fullest capacity and go after my passions. Aries is a sign that's all about passions, and Saturn is saying, take your passions seriously. And obviously, like, everyone's going to have access to that in a different way, depending on where is Saturn in your natal chart, what area of life, what is it aspecting, but...
Also, like, impulsivity. I feel like Saturn has this pressure of, like, get your shit together. Like, get your house in order so you can achieve your goals. And then I feel like Aries is like, oh, shit. Like, I'm going to make an impulsive decision and, like, I'm feeling it. So I'm just going to, like, do some stuff. But it's like, did you... But then Saturn is also like, I'm also about structure and order and planning. So, like, did you just... like wipe the slate clean to take the action, or did you like plan it out, you know? Yes. It's like, how impulsive are you being? Like, I feel like people could probably like feel it and maybe just like call that person and be like, I don't want you in my life anymore, and then like hang up and be like, wow, that was a little hasty, like I didn't need to maybe set that intense of a boundary or something like that.
Well, Saturn is in their fall in Aries because Saturn is like impulsive in the sign of Libra. Whereas like I love Saturn in Libra because that's a responsibility to love, beauty, harmony, peace. And
also, like, it's still cardinal, but I feel like Libra is also, like timing. I don't know. Like, I feel like it's like... balance, Yeah, proper timing, alignment,
Whereas, you're right, Aries is like, let's just go for it. It's a sign ruled by the ram.
The time is now because I said it.
Yes.
Like, that's literally it.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm going to do it because I want it.
There is a karmic responsibility to understand, where is this instinct coming from? Where is this drive coming from? Yeah. And for those of you that have Saturn and Aries, you're also probably going to be asked to take your physical health seriously, like have physical regimens. Yeah, like working out, like, bulking up. Which you get as an Aries moon.
Yeah. Aries placements love to be active. Like, if you have an Aries rising or Aries sun, you, like, activity, like, moving your body.
Yes.
Usually, Aries placements are, like, more tiny people. They're more, like, compact because they're more, like, athletic.
Yeah. So. I take my yoga practice or, like, dancing every day very seriously. It's like, I've got to move my body in some way, or go on a walk. I love just like walking up the hill we have over here. Like, that's such a great little exercise. So Saturn and Aries people definitely exercise. I just didn't want to skip over that. But I was just so excited to share the Jupiter and Cancer like transit. Fun part. Yeah. Like this is gonna be so yes for the collective. The other big transit that we have just a little taste of from July 7th until November 6th, we have Uranus in Gemini, which is a massive transit. For this, it's going to be shaking up a lot of how we experience information being delivered to us, shocking, surprising news.
Because this planet rules over like technology advancements.
Yes.
And like things of that nature. So yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I feel like there'll be like, I don't know, I get this intuitive feeling that there's going to be like a lot more, because Gemini, it's like a lot more noise, like a lot more communication, a lot more, like everyone's kind of like, no, this is my idea. No, this is what I think. No, this, especially when you're talking about news, it's like people are just going to be throwing their opinions in the ring. I feel like with this Gemini, it's like some people are just going to feel like they need to speak up and just talk nonsense, like, because they're not like connecting and listening, like what should I actually be saying? It's just like, well, I feel like a lot of people are gonna be like, well, I think we should do it this way. Oh, I think we should do it that way. Like, I just feel like there's gonna be a lot of, I just keep seeing like a mouth like moving is what I'm getting psychically.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that correlates with Pluto and Aquarius trining Uranus and Gemini, because they're both air signs. And what Spirit has been showing me is we're moving into an era where we're releasing the Leo essence of what it means to be a star, like having all this attention placed on a very few people within the collective.
I've seen that a lot with other astrologers saying it's like it's the downfall of celebrity, and more like healers will be more the like new quote unquote celebrity, like the center. Yeah.
We all have something to say, something to share, a voice.
Yes.
And that's why you're feeling that noise that's happening.
Yeah, because it doesn't necessarily feel like it's bad that like people are just gonna be talking out of their ass. Like, but it just feels like there's gonna be a lot of conversations, a lot of talking. Yeah. And I feel like the Gemini Uranus is good for like, let's just get our like ideas on paper. Like, what do we need to change? What do we need to advance? What is the feeling that we're needing? Even if we don't know what it is that we need, we're at least expressing the need. We're like being able to like pinpoint it or chat about it more, so that we can get like, so that the right people can kind of like move it forward. I feel like people who are supposed to do the change will like get it going, but I feel like everyone will be like talking about it more so. Yeah.
And a lot of research coming up to the field. And I've seen this.
Oh, yeah, technological advancements probably will be really good during this time.
But also stuff coming up about ancient civilizations. You know, with Saturn in Pisces, I was hoping that we would have had more discoveries within the ocean.
We did. We had a fuck ton of them.
We did.
We discovered like over 100 new species and shit. Like,
but also like,
we discovered that rock that makes oxygen.
There's so much more in the ocean, and I know it. And I know it.
I feel like that needs to be like a quote, like on a t-shirt. It's like you, and it's like, there's so much more in the ocean. I know it.
I know it. I do. And my soul, well, the ocean, I've seen it before. It's portals into other realms.
I've seen the ocean too. I think a lot of people.
Have y'all seen Sorcerers?
I've seen the ocean
Have
before.
You seen the ocean?
Breaking news 2025. The ocean is real.
There are portals in the ocean to other realms. I'm serious.
No, I saw that there's like people, I feel like I've seen like those like weird like parts in the ocean where it's like looks like a wormhole.
Yeah, I've seen it in meditation with clients. I've seen.
I can't get over. I've seen the ocean.
There's so much to be discovered, and I feel like we're gonna have lots of new research, data.
It'll be fun. We need it.
Yeah.
We need it. We need to stop just like destroying the ocean.
Yeah. And we need to understand what is there and the species, the energies, the beings that that are there, and also all of the ancient civilizations. I feel like that is what could be occurring from this transit. Yeah, we're gonna see what comes up, but I'm really
I feel like
excited.
that's also like the Jupiter Cancer energy, expansive in the ocean too, right?
Something else that I noted towards the end of summer, beginning of fall, we have a new moon in Virgo at 0 degrees on August 23rd, which is opening the portal for eclipse season. And then in September, we're going to have a full moon lunar eclipse, 15 degrees of Pisces. And then on September 21st, we'll have a new moon solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Virgo. So I just thought that was really fascinating of what are we...
We're going through a lesson during that time for sure. Like we're ending and beginning.
Especially because in the tarot, this year, 2025, corresponds with the Hermit. And the Hermit corresponds with the Virgo energy. And then we're having the South Node in Virgo. So I'm like, what intention are we setting on that day, August 23rd, of something that we're releasing within the realms of Virgo? And I feel like we're going to be releasing outdated health model structures, and we're already starting to see glimpses.
That'd be sick if we get free healthcare by August.
I mean, we'll see. But I feel like more people are going to be taking their health serious of the understanding that our body truly loves us, and our body is always seeking homeostasis, and it's just about aligning our bodies with the proper tools, because we're all different, we're all so unique, and our bodies need different tools to function. And I feel like we're going to start seeing a system where healthcare, we're moving into a space where it's like that has to be more accessible for people, or we have to have better systems in terms of healthcare, especially preventative healthcare. Like, please, insurance companies, let me be a practitioner. Like, it's wild how many insurance companies I've called as a practitioner of health. I'm a massage therapist, and they're like, oh yeah, our panel is closed. And it's like, what? More people should have access.
Well, they want money.
That's the thing. And these are the things that I'm feeling like are going to be shifting with the South Node in Virgo, the releasing, the shedding.
The holistic is what came up for me psychically. Like, it feels like looking at taking care of yourself differently, looking at what does real healthcare, like a lot of people have been talking about, like community and support, and like realizing like your health is not just a medical piece, it's your mental, it's your physical, it's your environmental, it's your habits, it's your thoughts, it's your behavior, like it's everything, realizing like it can all be tied together. And preventative, it's like how can I get all of these pieces in order so I'm not like going to the doctor all the time, because like Virgo, like people with strong Virgo placements feel every little shift in their body. Like Virgo's this is off. My mom's Virgo. Yeah. It's like every day. It's
which
like
we're releasing. We're releasing the hyperfixating and overanalyzing with Virgo South Node.
Yeah.
I feel like that's really the bulk of the transits that are happening. Okay. I mean, obviously we have Mercury retrograde periods and
which happens the retrogrades are normal.
We'll deep dive into each lunation as we go more into the year with y'all. So
this is sort of just like an overview. But we're going to break down the Hermit piece that Tylynn mentioned and the numerology piece, but we're going to take a little break. Okay, so we just realized we were talking about astrology for like an hour.
There's a lot for 2025, so we went in.
Yes, a lot of astrologers were saying like all of the signs will be in, all of the planets will be in new signs in 2025. So it's a lot of like fresh new energy. Like Tylynn was saying, like these trends will be here for like 20 years, right? So yeah, we covered a good bulk of it. But yeah, we're going to do a part 2 basically. So we're going to just continue recording on the same day, but we'll release this as 2 separate episodes. So the second part of this will be covering like the numerology of the year. So like the numerology is like highly intertwined with tarot. So we're going to talk about like the Hermit card and being a number 9 year and what that means for the collective, as well as how to find out what your card for the year is. So using numerology to figure out what your personal tarot card is and theme for the year, like via tarot and numerology. And we're also going to do like tarot predictions for 2025. So I'll be pulling some cards to see what's going to be coming up from spirit, that whatever source and spirit wants to share with us about 2025. And then Tylynn has created this super cool, very easy, like 5-card spread for 2025. So we'll do like a collective version of that, and we'll like kind of show you like how to do it for yourself, so you can see like what are my lessons and themes and all those pieces that are coming up or that I'm releasing from 2024 as I move into 2025. So yeah, do you want to say something?
Yeah, so welcome to our part 2.
It's the tangent, a whole episode of, no, I'm just kidding. We just have a lot to say. All right, we'll see you in the next episode. Bye. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Source Seers. We can't wait to hear your take on all the magic we talked about.
Follow Source Seers on IG and all other platforms to let us know your thoughts and get involved in our community.
You can also follow Love at Love Sakratoff on all the platforms.
And Tylynn at Tylynn Mackenzie, or go to my website, templeradiance.com.
We'd love it if you could leave us a review on Spotify, Google, or Apple Podcasts, and share Source Seers with anyone you feel might benefit from magical community right now. Hail Jupiter!
Thanks for seeing into Source with us.
Bye!